Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have finally got our very first look at the grosse Kurfurst. So, with that being said, let's take a look at our commander. We've got Henry J. Hyde. We have a level 16 Legendary 2, Andrew Cunningham as our main inspiration, and William Sims for the HP bonus that he gives. And then we've got Flammable Cannoneer, we have Aladad, we have Marksmanship, and of course we've got Master Mechanic giving us the maximum amount of heals that we can get. Well, yeah, the maximum, because you don't get an extra one when you get it up to Legendary 4. Alright, so, and then running with scissors. This perk in particular is about to get better with the next update. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. But if we get to the ship itself, upgrades and loadout, you'll see that I have Aiming Systems Mod 1, we have Steering Gears Mod 2, we have Target Acquisition Mod, not Concealment, and we have Main Battery Mod 3. And then we are using the 420mm guns. Okay? Now, if we go to the loadout, you'll see that I have my community contributor flag. People always ask me, how do you get flags? How do you get flags? You can get flags from events or certain ships when they come out. They will have a flag if you buy them in the premium store. But there are certain missions every once in a while that have them. So keep an eye out for those missions. And that's how you get flags. Camouflage. We're using the community contributor camo as well. We only have 28 of those left. But I'm saving up all the other paints for now, so that's why I'm using this community contributor. Because again, in the next update, we are about to have some interesting things, so I want to test them out. Now, we are using the Epic Booster for battle propensity, which gives us 3% to our main guns, 3% movement speed, and a minus 5% time for the reloads. Now you'll notice that I've got 7 spotter planes that I can use during the match. You're not going to get all these off, but there's nothing that I'm using to increase them, so it's just natural for the grosse Kurfurst to have its 7 planes on board, apparently. I mean, it's practically an aircraft carrier. Sonar is very, very good with a 6-kilometer ship detection, which I believe is the same as the Bismarck, which has the best sonar in the game. So 4-kilometer for torpedoes, 6 kilometers on ships. That has a 60 seconds duration and takes 171 seconds to reload. You get 2 of them. And we have 4 heals, which gives us 558 hit points per second that we can heal. And the duration is 28 seconds with a reload of 70 seconds. So, not bad. Stats, we have 103,400 hit points. That's a lot of hit points. 25% torpedo reduction, which is just about, I think it's the exact same as the Iowa, which is not the only thing that we are going to be comparing with the Iowa. Main battery, it has 420 millimeter 48 caliber, I'm assuming. And I'm not sure what the LC-40s are. So, is there 2 different guns on this? Or is that just a thing? But it looks like our 48 calibers rather than 50 calibers. So, a little bit slower velocity, a little less accuracy. But, because of that, it has less penetration, less chance of overpinning. But it's basically a 50 caliber gun. 19.2 kilometer range with our current build. Reload time of 28.2 seconds, which isn't bad. It's still slower than the Yamato. That's the one thing that I don't understand about the Yamato. Like, the Yamato has a faster reload than the grosse Kurfurst, the Iowa, any other 16-inch gun in the game. Why is it 18-inch guns reload faster than 16-inch guns? Somebody please tell me. And it isn't because that there are three guns per turret, because the Yamato has 3 guns per turret too. So somebody's gonna have to, like, come up with an idea of why that is. I mean, you got the most powerful guns in the game, and they reload faster than half of the guns that are smaller. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, HE shell damage of 5,000, chance to set on fire 41%. I don't recommend firing HE out of this thing. The AP is actually pretty good, especially for a German battleship. It's very good. Maximum AP shell damage of 13,500. 128 millimeter secondaries, you have 20 of them, 10 per side. They fire at 5.3 kilometers with our current build, and the reload time is 4 seconds. HE shell, maximum HE shell damage is 1,500, and the chance to set fire is 5%. So they're firing HE with the 128s. Now with the 150s, you have 8 of them. So you have a total of 28 secondaries on this ship. So I would assume 14 per side-ish. With the 150s, also 5.3 kilometer range with a 7.5 second reload time. Maximum HE shell damage of 1,700 and an 8% chance to set on fire. With the overview, we have ironclad, above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration. You are going to get to see this in this match that I'm about to show you. Trust me, you'll want to watch that. Tough, above average HP rating. It literally is the biggest, heaviest, nastiest, okay, not nastiest, but biggest, heaviest ship in the game, period. Even on PC, biggest, heaviest ship in the game. Superior AP damage, above average AP shell damage. One of the last stages of a battleship designed for the German Navy, the ship was fitted with triple gun main turrets designed at the outbreak of World War II. The project was developed based on the Navy's combat experience and featured powerful torpedo protection, enhanced horizontal armor, and more advanced AA guns. Hello there, ship. That's never happened before. She was designed in 1941, and obviously she was never finished. I don't know if they even started on it, but yeah, she was definitely never finished. Or he was never finished, considering this is the German Navy. Alright, so let's take a look at it. And let's be real, it is a good-looking ship. It really is. It is massive, though. Massive! Hello again, ship. Trying not to go too fast, because I don't want to lag out the game. I mean, it's got to load in all these pixels in 4K, and the game is clearly struggling when it's in port. But yeah, it is a fantastic ship, and we're going to go over that in a minute. Spartan just said something good about a German battleship! Write it on the calendar! And with that bombshell, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so let me just go over a couple things about the Gross Kurfurst first. The Gross Kurfurst is a good ship. However, this is a ship that a lot of people are going to struggle with, myself included. The first few matches that I played in this thing, and by the way, this match is only like my 6th, maybe 7th match overall, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I still need a lot more work with this ship in order to really give you guys like my overall on it, but first impressions of this ship are pretty good. I like the ship in general, but there are some pretty notable things. First of all, it is the largest ship in the game, and because it's the largest ship in the game, it's got a couple of shortcomings that follow that title. One of them is its turning is abysmal. It's absolutely atrocious. But it's also very, very good, because even though its turning is really, really not good, it's got very, very good armor. You will get citadeled occasionally. It does happen. Even at mid to close range, I have been citadeled, but that's generally my fault for going completely broadside on. You'll see in this match in particular that you can get away with a lot of stuff in this ship. Maybe some of this is attributed to just bad shooting by the enemy team in this one, but initially here, because my destroyer is going mid, I figure I can hang out here, try to get some shots across the map early, but unfortunately he just wasn't spotting anything. And this is something that I complain about every once in a while and try to tell you guys. If you're in a destroyer and you're trying to take a mid early, don't just sail straight up to an island, because what you're doing is you're not spotting anything. And people are at their most vulnerable when they are sailing at the beginning of the match. They're turning one way or the other, so they are broadside on, and it is at the most vulnerable. But if we can't see them, we can't take advantage of said things. And as you can see, I am detected, which means he has company at B, and I can't do anything about it. I gotta get out of here. I don't want to be sitting here broadside. I see lightning coming out to the left, and there's also some ships over here. So we're gonna try to put ourselves into the position to intercept and start dealing damage. Now, Wichita is making me salivate right now because we do have 420mm guns, which means we can overmatch his armor, and he's giving us a flat broadside. This is bad news if you're a Wichita. However, I notice he is slowing down, so we're going to go ahead and aim a little bit closer to him and see if we can catch him just slipping. And sure enough, that was a nasty hit. Getting over 15,000 damage on that first salvo is disgusting. And actually, that was the first person we hit, right? So that's technically 18,000 damage is what we got on that first salvo. And then I noticed the Gross Kurfurst out here, and this is what I'm saying about potentially bad shooting or good armor by me, is I didn't take much damage from him. However, as you can see, the enemy is not going to get so lucky. Sitting broadside onto this thing is absolutely punishing as we get another 14,000 damage off of him. So that was a good trade in my book. We lost, 6,000 health? He lost a lot more than that, maybe 7,000 health. But we're sitting a bit too carelessly right now, considering there's an Alaska out there as well. Now, this lightning is just getting ready to bomb around the corner, so we want to make sure we're ready for him. And we're not the only ones sitting here waiting for him. We get a good shot off, everybody else gets a good shot off, we get the first kill, and down goes the lightning. That is what you call preferable. Now, the enemy Grossa is just sailing off into the sunset, which is preferable, because that means I don't have to deal with him for the moment. And that means I can focus the Wichita and the other Grossa Kurfurst that's on my left. So we take a shot here at the Wichita. He's stopped, so this is not a hard shot at all. And we get, unfortunate, but 4 overpins, we get a pretty good hit on him anyway. And he's not long for this world, as we're not the only ones that were shooting at him. And wait for it. Oh, he gets away with it. Now, we're angled relatively decently at the enemy Grossa Kurfurst that's on my left. And we've got an Alaska starting to set me on fire on my right. Plus, we have the Jean Bart out there on my right and the Grossa Kurfurst on my right. So as you can see, we're starting to feel a little bit antsy right now. There's a lot of people looking at us. And even though we have all the health, we can't afford to give up stupid angles, and we actually just got caught right there by the enemy Grossa. However, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, and I hit him for 14,000 with the front guns, and I'm about to hit him again for another 12,000 with the rear guns. And we had used our sonar to try to make sure that we weren't going to run into torpedoes from the lightning, because, I mean, why would he pop out like that, right? He's definitely trying to launch torpedoes. To his credit, I don't think he ever got them off. I think he pretty much just got obliterated. Now, our destroyer's kind of in a ridiculous spot. He's not actually in a good spot, but he is helping capture the base, so as long as he doesn't get detected, we'll capture this base, because everybody's going to be shooting at me. Now, the enemy Grossa on my left is getting the attention of everybody on my team behind me, and I'm getting the attention of everybody on the enemy team in front of me. So this is kind of the worst situation you could be in currently, is that you are surrounded on both sides. You've got people shooting at multiple sides of your ship. Now here I realize Gross is gone. He's not going to be able to hit me. We've almost got this base capped, and there it is. Base is captured just in time. And now the enemy Grossa Kurfurst that was in front of us has now become completely brazen, and we are going to take a shot at him, getting a very good salvo with the front gun. Considering he knocked one of our turrets out temporarily, that was a really good result, getting 10,000 damage from just 3 shells. That's not bad at all. And of course, he's going to eat a torpedo, it looks like, maybe 2. And we are about to get the rear guns to shoot him. And we get another 10,000 damage off of him. And we're about to have the front guns back. And oh my god, that's what I'm talking about. He just citadeled us right there. We lost our destroyer. And so we're going to go up in here, and Sometimes you just got to know when you got to survive, okay? Now, we're already down to 2 heals, which is not preferable. But we're in a pretty good position right now that we can shoot from with our rear turrets. And this is where you need to be looking at the ship icon down at the bottom, where you know your guns are. You can see when they turn white, you're shooting with the front, and then when the other ones turn white, that means they're loaded and you'll be shooting with the rear. The rears have a clear line of sight, the front do not. So that's something you got to take into consideration. However, this grosses pretty much toast. I mean, with everybody firing, he's at least 3 fires right now. Maybe he's got the 1 perk on to only be on fire twice, but it looks like 3 fires. If you're not sure how that one works, basically what it does is it turns your superstructure. Your superstructure can actually be on fire in 2 places. You've got the bow, the superstructure gets 2, and then the stern of the ship. That's 4 fires possible on your ship. And so if you take the perk that reduces the maximum number of fires to 3, then what that does is make you to only have your superstructure can only be set on fire once. So you still can be set on fire on the bow, you can be set on fire in the stern, and you can be set on fire 1 time in the superstructure, but that would look like 2 fires. And if the guy hits you and only gets 1 fire and then sees 2 fires pop up, then he knows that you can only be set on fire 3 times. There's little things like that you can key on as you get better as a player. I don't have that perk currently, obviously, but you can see we're about to get another heal off, and the heal is not insignificant on this ship. Alright, it's not a super heal, but it's a darn good heal. And the fact that we get 2 extra heals because of our build is huge. Now, for whatever reason, the entire enemy team here just completely quits shooting at me, and you can see I've been taking some rounds from the right because our team has kind of given up the right side of the map. We control 2 caps, but as you can see, I'm getting peppered from the right. I'm starting to try to bow tank that side while turning broadside to the Alaska and the Jean Bart. So we're going to try to do the best that we can to get rid of one of these ships. And because the Jean Bart's closest, guess who's it? Jean Bart's being peppered with high explosive, and we're going to start peppering him with armor piercing. And even if we don't manage to do a lot of damage, we can still knock out his guns quite easily, and that's going to reduce how much he's going to be able to do. But he's burning to death. He's not long for this world, and down he goes, leaving just the Alaska out there. And he's getting to the point where he's not even worth shooting at this point. I mean, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, it's an Alaska. Why would you leave him alone? And the answer is simple. Because once you get beyond a certain range, it's hard for me to hit you. This is still a German battleship, and while it does have very good dispersion for a German battleship, it's still a German battleship. Now, luckily, the Wichita finishes off the Adachi. That's a huge play. A, that stops people from capping the bases, and B, it allows us to get closer and start to deal with these guys. Now, the Alaska, like I said, he's with Jesus. I can't worry about the Alaska. We've got other guys that are bigger targets for me to worry about. I have 1 more heal, and it is currently available, so we're going to get ready to bust out our heal. But I was kind of waiting for 1 more hit here, and sure enough, the Odin is actually shooting armor piercing, and you can hear most of those shells just bounce or shatter off the ship. And I'm doing 2 things right now. 1, I am shielding my cruisers that are behind me. I'm putting myself between him and them, giving him a pretty decent angle, and he's taking advantage of it. Now, he's also almost in torp range, and I am acutely aware of this. But because I'm such broadside on, I'm allowing him to shoot me. I still have 33,000 hit points. It seems like we don't have very many hit points, but we still have, well, now we only have 24. It's starting to become an issue. But you gotta like keep it in perspective. This thing has so much health that this kind of stuff isn't that big a deal. And when you get these shots out of that, it's so worth it. And we just took 1/3 of his health in 1 salvo because he tried to get his torpedoes off. Now, we're already reversing. You have to play ahead of time. Like, you cannot afford to wait for torpedoes to be spotted. You have to know that they're on their way and where you need to go to avoid them. Same thing that you got to do in the Iowa and the Vladivostok. I'm fairly good at this because I've played the Iowa for so long. And so in the Vladivostok and the Grosse Kurfürst and the Iowa, I'm fairly decent at dodging torps. Now, I was afraid that this Odin was going to flip around and come back because he is facing me. But I think what happened is he ran aground. And our Wichita is right on the other side of the island, is going to have a pretty good shot at him. And because he only has 305mm guns, the Wichita can bow tank him. But I was worried about torps, and then I realized that I think he ran aground. He's not going to be able to torp me, and I'm just going to try to pull out here and see if we can't finish him off. Now, there is still an Iowa out there that I haven't been able to shoot at because I haven't seen him. And there he is. So instead of going for the beautiful Odin, I was going to go for the Iowa. But he knocks out one of my turrets temporarily. I go ahead, hurry up and fix it, and then I just send one gun at the Odin, and then the Iowa opens up and gives me a much better angle here. And I'm not going to lie, I started salivating because I was like, dude, you are toast. You are toast. He can't turn out. He's got an island blocking him, so he can't turn out. He is stuck broadside on to a Grosse Kurfürst. Now, he gets a pretty good salvo, and it's unfortunate that he knocks out one of our guns again. That's a theme that you'll notice with this ship. You will get your guns knocked out pretty easily. But the amount of damage that we're going to be able to inflict on him versus the amount of damage that he's going to do to us isn't even close. He was full health when he initiated this engagement, and we already have him down to half health with one volley of all of our different guns. And that was with one gun that was not loaded. Now, you'll notice here that I still am able to shoot over this island, which surprised the crap out of me. I was like, there's no way I can shoot this. And sure enough, we can, and we get a Citadel. 13,000 damage in one shell. And then we get another shot off. That one didn't really do a whole lot, 1,350. And then we're going to try to go forward again, just in case that this Iowa was going to shoot at our cruiser. We want to make sure we shield our cruiser. Cruiser's probably upset at me, but I just didn't want him to die. But we managed to take out the Iowa, and we survived with 223,000 damage, getting our Dreadnought, Confederate, First Blood, and High Caliber. Top of the leaderboard with 3 kills and 3,000 base XP in the Grosse Kurfürst. And without a bonus other than my premium bonus, we get over 150,000 silver earned. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.